Welcome along to Dangan in Galway for this Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup quarter-final. I hate to be cliched, but it wouldn't be Galway without the rain. And on cue, just as we start this broadcast, it has started to tumble down. Finian Hanley, formerly of University of Galway as it's known now, University College Galway as it was known then, is with me. And of course Finian would have played with Galway for many years, and of course is now involved with coaching the Salthill Knocknacara senior team, so he knows an awful lot of these players. Finian is with me. Finian, what are you expecting from this match?
Yeah, Oisín, it's an interesting one. I suppose it's the repeat of last year's final. I think between both of the teams on show tonight and possibly DCU, you've got the best will certainly come from one of those three teams. But a repeat of last year's final. I know David Clifford isn't here, or isn't with UL anymore, but there's some fantastic talent out there on both sides. A lot of senior inter-county footballers that would have featured for their counties last week. So no big wind. The rain is coming down, but it's nice to be up here, and it's not a one-way traffic for wind, so it's nice and calm. Bit of rain, but looking forward to it.
We have three late changes for University of Galway. They're pretty big ones as well. Ger Davern replaces Cathal Donoghue from Offaly, an All-Ireland Under-20 winner. He has of course played for the Offaly seniors as well. Pat O'Donnell from the Aran Islands is replaced by Daniel Flaherty, who impressed you against Mayo in the drone game the other night in the Alliance League. And Ryan Monaghan is replaced by Conor Corcoran of Moycullen, one of the number of Moycullen players in this University of Galway panel. Out also is Tomo Culhane. Now, we suspected that. It was confirmed when we got here. He is an incalculable loss, and he would be for any team.
Huge loss, Oisín. Yeah, I was here for the Maynooth game, and difficult conditions that night, but he really led the line. He was the player up front on his own for most of the game, kicked frees when they needed it, when the game was kind of tight. They did pull away, but a lot of it was down to him. He would have been starting for Galway on Saturday night had he been fit, but unfortunately an ankle injury has kept him out. So hopefully he'll be back in the not so distant future, but he will be a huge loss for Galway tonight.
Don't forget, you can join the conversation via social media. Just use the hashtag FirstClassRivals. We'll keep you in touch with everything that's going on at the DCU sports grounds between DCU and UCC. That one threw in at 6:30. It is quarter-final time. It is knockout football. It is, I was going to say, a good night for football. It's not a great night because the rain is falling. There's not too stiff a breeze, but the actual conditions themselves, even though it is winter, that pitch is actually in really good condition.
Yeah, the pitch, you know, obviously since the lights have gone up here, the pitch is more traffic, but they've done a really good job here in keeping this pitch. They don't have too many training sessions on it, so it looks fantastic. The ball should hop off the turf. There shouldn't be, there's no water on the ground. It's starting to drizzle, but I think it'll make for a really quick game, and hopefully we'll get quick ball into the inside forwards, and there's a lot of skill on show.
DCU, Docus Éireann are up against MTU Cork. I might have said UCC. There's a lot of colleges playing tonight, and it confuses me, the amount of them, but we will keep you in touch with that game if we possibly can while this one is going on. Michael O'Connor, the GA officer here in University of Galway, handing us some team sheets ahead of the start of the game. We're glad you could join us. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. Should be a very, very good match. Hard to call a winner. As always with Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup football, you just don't know who's playing. You don't know who's maybe picked up an injury playing for their county. And it's just a strange time of year. It's not a great time of year for kind of predicting teams. DCU 7-3 up against MTU Cork. There's 2 minutes to go to the break there. But
yeah, I just see Oisín there. Daniel Flaherty's gone to wing forward, and I think Owen Kelly is gone inside in the corner. So that's wing back onto corner forward for UCG. So that'll make for an interesting start.
And for University of Limerick, Akeem Aguero is in. He's of Éire Óg, and it's a really, really decent footballer. Éire Óg, county champions in Clare. So it is University of Galway in the mostly maroon jerseys, University of Limerick in the mostly white jerseys. We already have a dog on the pitch off camera. Owen Kelly as the dog gets out of the way. Good hands by Rory Egan. Cathal Sweeney has dropped back deep. He likes to do that. He can kind of control play. He's a calming presence on that University of Galway team. Has scored 2-1 already in this championship, Sweeney. one of the many up-and-coming prospects in Galway. Owen Kelly, a former Irish underage international basketball player. Paul Kelly. The brothers combining. Sean Kelly also in the University of Galway squad. He's overcarried and it's a free out, and that's a bit of a boost for UL. You can hear that from them because we're right beside the pitch and you can pick it up.
Absolutely, they seem to have dropped a lot of bodies off as you'd expect. A lot of players behind the ball. They've one up top, and I suspect with the breeze slightly going into their faces, they're going to start running the ball and maybe using the hand.
Here's Sean O'Flynn from Laois, another man who was playing at the weekend. Laois beating Sligo in a huge game in Division 4. Laois have to get out of Division 4. They shouldn't be there. Sligo, despite their bumpy start, will want to get out as well. And they've shown great signs of positivity under Sligo. Back to tonight, and it's a line ball to University of Galway, which is spilled. And now it's a line ball to UL. Great battling by UL.
Yeah, Carl Sweeney seems to have dropped off. He's playing around the middle of the park, and I think they're trying to get him on the run at pace from deep, and they don't want to get him stuck in being marked by somebody. Also notice, Oisín, that Gavin Burke has taken up a position in the full forward line. He's kind of hanging around, so I don't know, is that a decoy for NUIG, but it's interesting to see. He's a cornerback by trade, and he's picked a cornerback, so maybe they're trying that to start.
It's a nice turn by Mark McInerney, who's the Sean McDonald, I beg your pardon. Either way, it's foul and it's a free out. Back to the goalkeeper it goes, Carroll. University of Galway have been goal hungry so far, 5 goals across their matches. Yet to score in this game, but they are patient. Flaherty has support from Egan. Egan receives. University of Galway looking for an equalizer, but first they're keeping the ball. Here's Cathal Sweeney. Might be tempted to go to Mark McInerney, who's in front of him. No. More laterally to Sean O'Flynn. Sweeney again. Now it's Kelly. That's surely too narrow an angle to have a shot. They try and work it in. Maurice Sheridan, by the way, the University of Galway coach, former Mayo footballer. That's well taken by Mark McInerney. It wasn't a good ball to Egan, and it was easily intercepted, and UL will come away with it. Yeah,
that's the third poor turnover from UCG. Oisín, they won't be happy with the start. They've given a lot of ball away, and they're giving oxygen to UL at the very start of this game.
Downs moves it off to McMahon. McMahon breaking through and driving on. He has options. Might take it on himself. He's good from this kind of range. McMahon looking to double the lead, and he hasn't.
Poor wide. I suppose the shot was on. He was moving at a bit of pace there. Maybe needed to compose himself a bit more, but it's another shot off for UL, and I think they've got off to the better start.
Well, they've got the only point of the game so far. Another one of the late changes. For UL has seen John Hayes come in. It is the nature of this competition that sometimes the teams don't line out as names for all the reasons that we've outlined. Recycled well. Egan wanted the 1-2 there, didn't get it. It was slowed down by Owen Kelly. Sweeney, who's seen an awful lot of balls so far. Driving on is Dunleavy. Thought about shooting, but worked it outside instead. Dunleavy continued his run, and he was the aim. And again, UL get a hand in and just do enough to get the ball back. An intended pass to Dara Cashman, who loves to get forward, but it was intercepted. Recycled well by Flaherty. Burke. Kelly. Outside from Egan. Tierney. Flaherty. Flaherty recycling again. O'Flynn. He's trying to drive on, and he has won the free. In fairness, referee Chris Maguire just let it go for a second and then said there was no advantage, so the free has been given. It's been taken by Paul Kelly. O'Flynn had a runner on the shoulder. Sweeney. Sweeney is an out ball again. The rain has stopped, by the way. Conditions have improved, and as we said earlier on, the pitch is in very decent condition. University of Galway looking for a goal here and getting it. What a finish that is. What a move it was to create it. Well, they'd struggled to get even shots away before this, but that was quite the finish, and well worked and well placed by Mark McInerney.
I think,
yeah, Mark McInerney of Clare.
Yeah, our UCG were just very patient there. They obviously had 4 or 5 turnovers running into the tackles. They kept it wide that time, waited for the runner off the shoulder. It was a lovely finish by Mark McInerney. I think Oisín in the game, it's going to be free takers are going to be really, really important today, because both defences are really they're packing up the D. It's going to be, space is going to be at a premium, so they're going to have to be very patient and get the shot off when correct. But I think the free takers in Paul Caney and Matthew Tierney are going to be very important.
Well, Mark McInerney, he comes from good stock, as they say. His dad Francis was part of the Clare team that won the Munster title in 1992. He himself has collected a county medal as well. His dad is 7, he's nowhere near that yet, but he is very young, and it's a free to UL. UL really good at running the ball. They can boom it into the corners as well. MacDonald is the target. He spills it under pressure and has a little push of the defender. And it will be a University of Galway kick out. On the move, Rory Egan. Held up really well by Kieran Downs, who scored 2-1 against SETU Carlow. Corcoran. McInerney. Egan. O'Flynn. Sweeney. Colin Murray, cool as a breeze. That said, he'd all the time in the world. UL with everybody behind the ball. They seem to be targeting that right side, and they seem to be getting some success out of it as well. And they've got the free in. Well, they've got advantage, and now they've got the free in.
Yeah, there's definitely more space down the right hand side, Oisín. I think after the couple of turnovers on the left, they're getting joy. Carl Sweeney's getting on a lot of ball around the middle here. He's dropped off at centre forward, and it's suiting him. If they can get penetrating runs from him, he has the pace to break the line and create scores.
It can be tough to see who's there and not there at the start of a match. It does look like Paul Walsh of Kerry isn't there for UL. He is around. I did see him earlier on, but he hasn't started. Can University of Galway make it a 3-point game? The answer is yes.
Score.
They took their time, but eventually they waved the flags, and it's Matthew Tierney who scores his 10th point of this season's campaign. He's quite the talent, isn't he, Matthew Tierney?
Absolutely, yeah, a massive player for Galway. A lot of football played, so you know he needs to mind himself. But he's a huge player for this NUIG team.
Jack Coyne of Mayo gives it away. Paul Kelly flicks it off. It's Matthew Tierney raiding again. Tierney somehow got through the gap and finishes it off beautifully. 2 in a row for Tierney.
Brilliant score, absolutely brilliant score. It was just the turnover there. They're starting to push up in the kickouts now and squeeze UL, particularly against the breeze. So with shooters like Matthew Tierney, I see Gavin Burke is still in there, so I think that's a ploy maybe to start squeezing on these kickouts, and if they can get a couple of turnovers they can maybe pull away a bit.
Gavin Burke of Currafin was part of the Electric Ireland Rising Star Team of the Year in 2022 last year. The 4th year here in University of Galway. Darragh Cashman got onto it there, gave it out to Owen McLaughlin. Flicked on by Mark Dempsey of Kildare. A marauding one run by Coyne. We know he can do that. Coyne gets it back. Well, UL not making inroads, but not giving it away at the very least. They just need to settle it down, I guess, now, Cian. Finian.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the last couple of scores from UCG have really put the sting on it for them, but they have an attack here now, maybe a chance.
Ugaru. Keeney just doesn't have the legs. Kicking against the breeze. Now, just in case you don't know the surrounds here, behind that grassy bank over on the far side is the running track. Behind us is the Corrib, and kind of over in the left corner as you'd face down towards the right is the dressing rooms. Finian, this is a place that you know probably too well. Oh, McLaughlin knows it well enough as well.
A lot better weather tonight.
McLaughlin at pace. This is great running. I'm not sure if that was a pass or a shot, but it is a free in. You're absolutely right. I think he was trying to aim it to McMahon, who was stealing in on the near post as we look, but he has the free in anyway.
Yeah, it's just, I suppose we know him well over the last couple of years. He's a huge turn of pace, and his score to finish the last night just to break the line and take a shot from the left. He's very good at taking a shot from the left with his left foot, but they need to keep tabs on Owen McLaughlin, because if he gets a gallop up, he can cause serious problems.
Well, fitness is his life, quite literally, considering the level he plays at and the fact that he is a 4th year exercise and health student. Keeney kicks it over, his second, UL's second. 2 points the gap. No score from play yet for UL, but they won't mind too much. As we say, against a very strong breeze in this first half. They're at half time, by the way, in the DCU MTU Cork game. We will keep you up to date as that one continues. The ball breaks, but will it break kindly? Downs tries to make it his. It's Egan, and he is fouled, and it's a free. Popped out by Dunleavy. Again, targeting that right side as they play down the park, but they're capable of much better than that.
Yeah, I'll go back to Gavin Burkush, and I think he's definitely inside to make decoy runs for Mark McInerney and the like inside. He's made 3 or 4 runs. He's not looking for the ball. He's bringing number 6 with him and creating that little pocket of space for the runners like Cottle Sweeney and Owen Kelly to get into. So a very good move, I think, by UCG early on.
That one gets kind of hung up in the breeze. Kelly bats it down. Well, I was about to say luckily for him Flaherty was there. I don't think it was lucky. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. Was that a throw? Ref says no. Owen Kelly finds his man who has to regather it. Ferocious tackling again by UL, and it is a line ball to University of Galway. Does he fancy it from that angle? Literally in the crowd taking it. That's one of the great things about Sigerson Cup football. The crowd gets so close to the action. That's well taken. And it's gone in. It's not the cleanest of strikes. University of Galway don't care. Sometimes you just need a high ball in. That does the job. That does the trick. And it was a great finish from Ger Davern.
Absolutely, yeah. Sometimes you you can just let it in and see what happens. But I think the UL team there was enough bodies around to deal with it. But they probably got caught looking at the lights, and nobody knew what the other person was doing. So great fetch by Ger Davern, great finish. So brilliant first half so far by UCG, and they look well in control.
He wouldn't be one of the more high-profile names, if I can put it like that, and obviously I mean no disrespect when I say that, but you'd know him from club football in Galway. He's a really good footballer.
He is, yeah. He's a type of player that goes out and does his job. He made his debut last week against Mayo for Galway, so he's obviously in Pádraig Joyce's plans if he's coming on in National League. So he's really come up the ranks and had a brilliant year for Mike Cullen this year, and he's a very important player for them and needs minded.
Scored a goal in the AIB Connacht Club Championship against Strokestown for Mike Cullen. What a year it was for Mike Cullen, winning a provincial title for the first time. Gave the semi-final a good go as well. It wasn't to be. Here's Owen McLaughlin. UL try and run it. Stand him up is the shout. Keeney. That was a clever ball. What can they do in the corner here? It's Lenihan of Cork. Has a man running through. That's Walsh. Doesn't spot him. Doesn't lose it either. And wins the free in.
Yeah, he's a powerful man, Lenihan, when he gets a run up. So, he'll take minding in there. But I think, UCG have a lot of bodies behind the ball. One man up in the full forward line. It's the same for both teams. But I think UCG seem to be more in control of their defence when they get back. Whereas UL seem to be at 6 and 7s at a time. I think UCG probably have a lot more work done. I think it's the 6th or 7th, probably the 7th year of this management now. And the players seem to know exactly what they're doing when they get into defence.
Keeney from an angle. Puts it over his third. They needed that. He made it look easy. It was anything but. He was the player of the week after 4 points against UCC. Keeney, as you say, has excelled throughout this competition. Speaking of excelling, University of Galway on the attack again. But it's well turned over. Downs. Well taken on the run by Keeney. Has Dempsey ahead of him, interestingly enough. Goes for it again. And for the second or maybe third time, he's taken a shot that didn't quite have the legs. Now, he has the capability, so I wouldn't blame him for going for it, but I think it gives you an indication as to how tough the conditions are.
Yeah, I think the wind is picking up a little bit up into that goal. So they've had 3 shots, 3 into the goalie's hands. So and they've been about 21 out. So it does show that there's probably more wind down on pitch level than there is up here.
UL trying to play their way out of trouble here. Can they do so? Walsh is fouled, and it's a free out. Strong play by Daniel Walsh, another Clare man from Kilmurray and Bricken, 4th year business studies student. Kicked the equaliser for Clare against Louth at the weekend before Malone's clutch score. Cashman. Sometimes a team panic if they concede a couple of goals. That's not happening with UL. They've an awful lot of experience out there, including that man Daniel Walsh. Cashman, can he break forward? There's lots of space. It's the one thing you don't want to give him. He scored a goal against TU Dublin. He can score off his left and right, as he did in an All-Ireland, an Electric Ireland All-Ireland minor final. What are the options? Ugaru. Jack Coyne. University of Galway with 14 behind the ball, including Mark McInerney. It was a foul, and it's a free out.
It's free in, I think, gushing for pulling the jersey, I think, there. I didn't see it, but...
He seemed to be pointing the other way, and obviously either changed his mind or was just pointing the wrong way. That can happen. Keeney tries to work it. Trying to break away is Emma McMahon. Daniel Walsh had made a break, wasn't spotted. Here's Jack Coyne. Coyne dropping it in. That's a great ball from Coyne, and the mark is called by Daniel Walsh.
Yeah. Beautiful ball in by Jack Coyne. They're probably going to have to look just a miss mark there. That's a big opportunity for UL, and it's really going to take the wind out of their sails.
The kind of shot you can't miss. Daniel Walsh, who scored 1-2 from wing back on his Clare debut in the league against Laois in 2021. Sean O'Flynn. Speaking of Laois, Rory Egan, who was part of the Offaly team that beat Antrim at the weekend. A rare win in Belfast for Offaly. Now, they haven't played there that often, but the local press in Offaly were making a bit of a deal of it because it's been a tough place to go in the past when they have visited. Flaherty was fouled, it's a free in.
Yeah, a couple of attacks from UL in the last 4 or 5 minutes, which, you know, UCG have dealt with. Now they're up and they have a free in, so they can settle it here if they can get a score and keep the distance.
Has to really get his boot around this, which he does. Tierney. That's his 3rd point. An excellent strike.
That's Paul Kelly that took that one.
Paul Kelly, I beg your pardon.
A brilliant free where, you know, just to settle them down from the left-hand side. Very acute angle as well. So not a man who's known for his free taking, but that's a fantastic score.
Great stuff by Mike Collins. Paul Kelly. Well handled by Moriarty from Kerry. Keeney being chased by Owen Kelly. Well played by Coyne. Two goals in it, but UL have firepower, so don't write them off yet. Here's Jack Coyne. And they've got a free in. That missed mark could be a big deal now, because from that attack, or from that restart, University of Galway went down the pitch and got a good score. Here's Dara Cashman. Cashman up against Rory Egan. Moriarty of Onnescall and Kerry. Keeper wants it, keeper gets it. Conor Flaherty, a dual star for UL. Leinster under-20 hurling winner. All-Ireland under-20 football winner with Galway. Cashman. Ugueru stays really calm and composed and wins the free in. Great work by the Clare man.
Yeah, it's a good line break by Aguero. I just see Conor Flaherty coming out the pitch. He's known for making these marauding runs up the pitch. We'll probably see more of him in the second half. That's the first time he's gotten the ball out the pitch where UCG have invited him on. So, you know, he may have to be the extra man in the second half to start punching holes.
They need this. And they've got it through Keeney. 5 points is the gap. Sigerson football is frantic, and it's kind of crazy, and very often just before the game throws in, you're not sure who's starting and where, and it's great as well that the crowd are in really close confines. They're getting a good look at this one. Here's Dara Cashman. Outside is Sean McDonald. He finds him. McDonald back inside for Cashman, who's at a tight enough angle. Cashman! Oh, he wanted a goal. He's to settle for a point.
That's a really good score. I think UL now have a bit of pep in their step. They're showing a lot better than they did in the first 10 or 15 minutes. That score brings them back to 4, and I think if they can get within a goal before half-time, you know, it'll make for an interesting second half.
Dara Cashman from Mill Street, a Bachelor of Science with concurrent teacher education student. You're probably too young to remember Finian, as are most of the students of University of Galway and UL. But Mill Street is a former host venue of the Eurovision, and UL get a free out.
That's right, I'm catching up with you, Oisín, but I won't get there.
I'll give you bonus points if you can tell me who won that year. Coin. Free in for UL. They're beginning to turn the screw a little bit.
Yeah, the running game seems to be, they've started to run through the lines and run off the shoulder, and I think they, with the players that are on show, they're much better than what they've shown the first 10 or 15 minutes. But I think midfield, certainly Daniel Walsh and Paul Caney are probably starting to get the better around the middle, and that's making for an improved UL side.
Dempsey with Cashman outside. Cashman tries to curl this one back in. Oh, it flirted with the posts, but it didn't go between them. But you can see what he's capable of. Very much in that Tomoso Shea mould of getting forward and shooting from wing back. Made the Electric Ireland minor star team in 2019 or 2019. Tomo Culhan was full forward. Tomo would have been starting for University of Galway tonight, but unfortunately he's injured. He's part of that new generation of Cork footballer, Dara Cashman. And despite the loss against Meath in their Division 2 opener at the weekend, they probably will have something to say in the league and in Munster and beyond this year. University of Galway have a free. Jogging over to take it is Matthew Tierney. It's being brought forward. (1-8) DCU. MTU Cork 6 points. 10 minutes gone in the second half of that game at the DCU Sports Grounds. It's looking good for DCU under Longford manager Paddy Christie. That's well taken by Daniel Flaherty. Good running off the shoulder. A bit of a blind pass and UL intercepts. But they've no one to boom the ball long to. Aguero. Nice turn, Emmett McMahon. If they can work him into shooting positions, he will be able to get them scores. This man not bad either. Lenihan. It'll be some score if he lands it.
Yeah,
which he has. Point of the night, and that's saying something.
Super score. I think UL now are getting everyone behind the ball, and they're running the ball and just getting the runners or the corner forwards out on the loop. And Mark Lennon's look very sharp. If they get more ball, he'll cause serious damage.
A beautiful score by Mark Lenihan from Buttevant. Top scorer in the Cork Junior Football Championship last year. So now there's just 3 points in it. You can correct my maths if I'm wrong, Finian. There's no scoreboard here.
I think you're right, Oisín.
That is part of the frantic nature of Sigerson Cup football. As is the fact that you have the scoreboard at home, but right now here we don't. But I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Here's Flaherty. Corcoran. Owen Kelly wanted it back, got it back. Neat turn around Owen McLaughlin, or inside Owen McLaughlin, I should say. It's not easily done. Ryan Egan wanted it, didn't get it. Rory Egan, I beg your pardon. Bounces kindly into the path of the fullback, Colin Murray. I like what University of Galway, when they pass it, they continue their run forward. They don't just stand statically. Here's Corcoran. Rory Egan. Inside is McInerney, he wanted it, but instead they go outside. And we have seen already in this game, if they go direct, they can cause hassle for UL. That's a fantastic run by Rory Egan. Eventually just runs out of room. Will he take a shot on? He's more than capable. Tierney. That's a rare mistake from Tierney. And that's half time. It has absolutely flown by. There's 3 points in it at the break. Finney and Hanley, what have you made of it?
Yeah, look, it's a really good finish from UL. They'll have a lot of confidence going in. They'll have a slight breeze in the second half. UCG have done a lot right. Took the early lead, took their goals well, but this game is far from over. There's 3 points in it. There's a slight breeze for UL. They've got Paul Walsh. I see him out there on the bench. Players to come on. So there's nothing. One kick of a game, one kick of a ball in it. But I think UL might be the happier going in at half time.
DCU Douglas Éireann are pulling away against MTU Cork. There's 13 and a half minutes gone in the second half there. It's DCU 110, MTU Cork 6 points. What do you think Maurice Sheridan will be saying to his team at half time here?
Yeah, I think they need to go back to what they did in the first 10 minutes. Cathal Sweeney didn't get on a whole pile of ball in the last 10 minutes, and he was causing a lot of bother, particularly on the right side, dropping off deep, making runs, breaking lines. In the first 10 or 15 minutes, and that kind of stopped, which really stopped the pace and the flow for UCG. So I think get on the ball, start dictating the play, relaxing, passing the ball over and back like they have been doing, and then getting runners off the shoulder, and maybe trying to go back to kicking one or two inside to the Mark McInerney's of this world, and see if they can get any joy off that. But I think it's composure, particularly against that slight breeze in the second half, that UCG will be looking for. And I know with Don Connellan and Morris in the training room, that's something they'll have in abundance. From dealing with Mike Cullen all year, they're a very composed team, and UCG were composed in the first 10 minutes here as well.
UL, they seem to have got to grips with it in the second half of the first half, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Owen McLaughlin got on a lot more ball, as I alluded to earlier. Daniel Walsh and Paul Caney started winning the battles around the mid.
As we said earlier on, the pitch is in very decent condition. University of Galway looking for a goal here and getting it. What a finish that is. Paul Kelly flicks it off. It's Matthew Tierney raiding again. Tierney somehow got through the gap and finishes it off beautifully. 2 in a row. Things about Sigerson Cup football. The crowd gets so close to the action. That's well taken. And it's gone in. It's not the cleanest of strikes. University of Galway. He finds him. McDonald back inside for Cashman, who's at a tight enough angle. Cashman! Oh, he wanted a goal. He's to settle for a point.
That's
Lenihan. It'll be some score if he lands it. Which he has. Point of the night. UIG, formerly UCG, 2-3, UL 6 points. It did look at one stage, Finian, like the home team may pull away, may run away with it, but to be fair to UL, they played their way back.
Yeah, in fairness, they changed their tactics. They, brought everyone behind the ball, put the ball through their hands, started getting the likes of Owen McLaughlin, Keeney, and Daniel Walsh on the ball, and picked up some scores where they had been dropping them into the goalie's hands. So with only a goal in and a slight breeze now in the second half, it'll make for an interesting. I see Paul Walsh is on a corner forward, so we'll see what sort of impact he can make.
Paul Walsh is in, played last year. Former Electric Ireland Minor Championship winner with Kerry, a member of the Electric Ireland Minor team of that year that they won it as well. On the attack here is Cian Monaghan. Recycled well by Owen Kelly. University of Galway, just in case you're only tuning in the maroon jerseys, UL in the mostly white jerseys. Paul Walsh getting into it immediately. Good tackle. Well, I was about to say a good tackle from Owen McLaughlin, but it was a foul. The referee tonight, by the way, is Chris Maguire. Good crowd over on that far side. This place is a natural amphitheatre. No stands to speak of, but still great places around to watch the match, and the trees provide cover, and behind us is the Corrib. The pitch in remarkable condition considering the time of year and considering the amount of traffic on it. Sweeney continuing his run there with Corcoran. Corcoran went down off the ball. We play on. University of Galway again attacking that particular corner. Great block down. That was either O'Brien or Hayes, I'm not sure which, but either way UL stopped the shot getting anywhere near the goal. Paul Walsh involved in the thick of it there, but the referee says illegally and it's a free in.
Yeah, again, Gavin Burke's run, you can see it very clearly for up here. He's no interest in the ball. He's standing on the edge of the D, and he's just sauntering out, taking his man out of the way so a man can run in behind him. It's an interesting ploy. I think it's been working. They've been coming off the shoulder, and that space in the pocket of the D has been left. So if they can break a line, there's space to get in for goals.
And there are goals in this game. We've already had two. That's Tierney lining up the free. Tierney looking for the first score of the second half and getting it. Tierney's third of the game. Another free in. Well, UL have to be careful here. They don't want to fall out of the game just minutes into the second half. They want it to be an actual game. Go again as the shout at the UL players. They're waiting for this to be struck. It'll likely go over. It does go over.
Paul Kelly. Yeah, two scores in a row early in the second half is a real settler for University of Galway. So, they've got the perfect start.
Fantastic start. But they had a good start to the game overall as well. And UL get a bit of a break.
Gavin! Come, Gavin, come!
All over between DCU, Douglas-Erin and MTU. Cork DCU have seen it out. We'll bring you detail of the score in a while. The draw, by the way, for the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup semi-finals will be made on Thursday morning. That's because we've got two more quarter-finals tomorrow night. St Mary's against UCC is going to be live from the GAA Centre of Excellence in Abbottstown. Speaking of excellence, here's O'Brien. Really good pressure, but he got his bit of time and space. Lenihan got the shot away. Keeper did well under it. Carroll, sturdy. Still hunting, still trying to get it back is McMahon. Their pressure yields good results. That's a hard tackle on Keeney. Mark Dempsey. McLaughlin. Pressure the ball as the shout from the sideline. The shot away from Cashman, looking for a second. Fantastic score from Cashman.
Super score, yeah. Just a bit of patience, got out of a difficult corner, good turnover when UCG had the ball, good turnover, got the ball out around, switched the play, runner off the shoulder and over the bar. Super score, they needed that.
Desperately so following the start that was made. Carroll batted down by Flaherty, but it's UL who turn it over again, and once again it's Mark Lanahan. And it's a free out.
Just trying to do things a million miles an hour there. UL got a good score. They just needed to settle the ball. They won the ball around the middle. They could have just kept, maybe held on to the ball for a couple of seconds and maybe drawn a free, but very frantic after getting a good score. So they maybe need to just be a bit patient after they do get a score and try and work a free.
Now they work it out of defence and almost give it away. Throwing himself in there, really brave was McMahon. Here's Paul Walsh being tugged back, free in. They knew exactly what they were doing there, University of Galway. They didn't want that fast delivery. Still looking for it inside his downs. 2 goals the last day. But we won't play on until a name goes into the book. It's a yellow card. McMahon. McLaughlin. I just love the way he slaloms through defences. Measures up the shot. Oh, it takes too many steps.
He was unlucky. Some refs give it, some refs don't. But you're right, he did break the line there. That's a worrying sign for University of Galway, where he went around 2 or 3 players. But lucky enough, Galway, I think, in that instance.
University of Galway are making a change. Obviously, it being Sigerson, you don't get the read out and you don't get someone reading it out over the PA. Cian Monaghan is going off. Donal Hunt is coming in. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes things for the University of Galway, who've had a good start to the second half, but UL have kind of creeped their way into it with 2 good scores in a row. Donal Hunt is a man you'll know fairly well. Finian?
Yeah, Donal, from Kerry, originally playing his football now with us in Salthill, Knocknacar. Super frightening pace when he gets on the ball, quicker carrying the ball than without. So we'll see if he can get the ball from deep and maybe make some gains.
Speaking of Kerry, here's Paul Walsh of Brosna, Ronaldinho's friend. A Ronaldinho-esque curl, but just didn't have the legs under it. Collected by Conor Carroll, who's from Oranmore but qualifies to play for Roscommon through his Roscommon dad, and he is part of the Roscommon squad. Recently made his senior debut for the team. Hunt kept a cool head there, very good play. Flaherty has a runner outside, that's Sweeney. Went inside instead. Popping up is Dunleavy. What was he doing there, the cornerback? Hunt again. It goes loose. Ugueru rescues it. Keeney. Heard the shout from McLaughlin. McLaughlin from Westport. Tries to find Walsh. That is eye of the needle stuff. Walsh manages to get the pass away to Hayes. Hayes has half the University of Galway defence around him, but that meant that Walsh was free and he squeezes that one over.
I'm not sure did he mean that, Oisín, but it ended up a super crossfield ball between, as you say, the eye of a needle went between 2 Galway players, but I think it was a bit of a fluke. But either way,
you're very cynical.
Either way, Paul Walsh, gave the ball, took it back, and slotted it over the bar. It's back to a 3-point game.
Really, really great work by Paul Walsh.
That's the corner back of me.
And that's it. You're all a cynical bunch. UL on the attack again. Coyne. Walsh. Walsh turning and twisting.
Yeah.
And he's got the free in. Sometimes it can be hard to see who's got the ball in that far corner, but there's no mistaking Paul Walsh.
Yeah, only for the hair, I think we wouldn't know who it was, but he's made a huge difference since he's come on. He's been very elusive inside, coming off, making really, really hard runs, and he's contributed to the last three scores for UL.
John Hayes did very well in the lead up to that last score. I know that UL have players from all over the country, but they've got good Limerick footballers as well, and that local representation is important. As is a point here if it goes over, which it does from Keeney. So that's 3 points in a row for UL.
They've won the break again.
Nice ball inside to Downs. Downs looking for 4 in a row for UL. They've got it. They're really on top here. 2-5 plays 10.
Yeah, University of Galway just finding it hard to get out of the kick out. Maybe they need to get a short one away here, but not much success around the middle. I think UL have put a big squeeze on now, and if they win this kick out, you know, it's Galway may look at making a change.
Well, receiving a bit of treatment is Daniel Walsh. What a game he's had. Chris Maguire is our referee, coming over to have a chat. Conor Carroll, who has played for the Roscommon Seniors, waiting patiently to take the kick out. There's a bit of a breeze. We had intermittent showers about an hour before the game. Then as the game started, the rain has abated and it's stayed away ever since. Nice conditions for a game of football. A little bit chilly, but it's okay. Carroll. Collected by Mark Dempsey and then intercepted, and University of Galway have the attack going here. McInerney is waiting for the ball if they can get it to him. This is a fantastic run. Dempsey gets back, blocks up the space. Brilliant turnover from Dempsey, and O'Brien was there to help him out. It was left behind and then regathered by Cashman.
Yeah, super turnover. You know, Carl Sweeney, we know the pace he has when he gets a run up, but that's an absolutely brilliant turnover to stay on him, get the near hand in. You know, textbook.
And a free, and the referee, I think, indicating the ball was touched on the ground there by Conor Downs. Another change being made by University of Galway. Dara Heenahan, we mentioned him before the game. His brother came off the bench and won the game for NUIG, as they were then called last year. Can he have a similar effect in this game? That was the final. This is the quarter-final, the semi-final draw to be made on Thursday. DCU Dokaserin, the only team in the hat so far. Who will they be joined by tonight? And it has to be tonight, by the way. We're here for extra time and penalties. Finian, are you ready for a late night if required?
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's a brilliant game so far. It's, you know, it's very tight. It can go either way. I think, you know, University of Galway need a score now just to settle themselves.
Large crowd on that far side looking on as UL get the free. Physically they've got on top.
Absolutely, yeah. Owen McLaughlin's making it huge. He's had a number of turnovers around the middle and he's really impressing on the game. He's the main player for UL. He's driving them forward, fist pumping every free they get or every break they get. So, you know, he's a big player, so Galway are going to have to get to grips with him.
Lenahan with O'Brien in hot pursuit. Hunt was chasing as well. We saw his pace there. Lenahan continued his run. Didn't get the ball back, but he was well covered by Hunt. Keeney was free, didn't go to him, does come to Emmett McMahon. He's looking for space. Recycles instead. Hayes. Coyne. No, wide. Worth the effort from Coyne. He's a very talented player. UL watching on his University of Galway make another change there.
Jack Lynn,
what a change.
Yeah, massive player to bring on, young footballer of the year, you know, just to bring him on with that experience to settle the game for them. So a big sub from UL.
He's replacing Sean O'Flynn, the Laois man. He's had a good game.
I think it's Derek Cashman that's come off, yeah.
Jacqueline spoke to him recently. He just loves football. There's no other way to put it. I know that seems like a silly statement about a guy who's playing for his county and playing, you know, well for his club and playing in college, but he just does. Well, for all the dominance that UL have had in the last couple of minutes, it is still University of Galway, who lead, granted only by 1 point. There's a yellow card flash there. I think that was for McMahon, maybe.
Yeah, McMahon, I think, Oisín, yeah. And
Dunleavy giving and going. Dunleavy taking it on the run. Looked to me like he was being fouled. Referee playing on. Didn't have his arm out, so wasn't playing advantage. Just didn't think it was a free. Kelly wants it and gets it. Sweeney. UL with everyone behind the ball, almost. To try and box University of Galway in. There's a number of the home team's players who've played basketball, including the Kellys from Moycullen. They'll be more than familiar with that phrase. Here's Colin Murray. Conor Dunleavy. Steps is the call from the UL bench. The referee, well, he's not listening. It falls on deaf ears. Dunleavy, another one of the Mayo contingent here at University of Galway, a fourth-year science student, currently part of the Mayo squad, has played in the FBD League. And UL get the turnover again. UL get the line ball, which they want to take quickly, and it's, I'm not going to say booted into the crowd, but it is in the crowd. Sean Kelly is in for University of Galway. So that's 3 Kelly brothers they've got involved. Paul, Sean and Owen. Back it goes to Conor Flaherty. O'Brien. Carries the shout at O'Brien. Jack Coyne. There was a little bit of confusion there, but it was Sean Kelly who's come in wearing number 32. He can go anywhere because he has played in all sorts of positions and excelled in all of them for Galway, more so on the back line, and for Moycullen he's kind of given a bit of freedom. Speaking of freedom, here's Paul Keeney.
yeah, it's a huge change, you know, big impact to bring off the bench. Sean Kelly, obviously he's one of the best players in the country, so you know, hopefully that will lift University of Galway. You know, they need to get him on the ball. He's out around half back, and to get him on the ball and get him running up the pitch, it'll settle University of Galway. But this is to level it for UL. So interesting the last 15 minutes here.
Keeney, who's had an amazing game so far. He does level it. You would want no one else on the ball from the UL point of view. And it's now the last 5 scores for UL in this game.
Yeah, they've really, you know, they're using the elements well, but they've seemed to up their aggression around the middle, Oisín. They're just, you know, they're getting to first every breaking ball. You know, they're attacking the ball, and they've had numerous turnovers in the second half so far. So they, you know, they look like a team that wanted more and maybe revenge on last year's final.
Ryan Monaghan is in, was named to start, didn't. As I say, it is Sigerson Cup football, so there's no one reading out the changes. Here's Paul Walsh, who lobs the keeper. It's a goal. It's a fantastic goal. A giveaway from University of Galway. Paul Walsh saw the keeper, Carroll, running back. Carroll couldn't win the race against the ball. An exquisite finish from Paul Walsh.
Big moment in the game. It's, you know, I suppose for University of Galway point of view, it fell to the wrong man. This, you know, Paul Walsh has just been on fire since he came on. He's absolutely turned this game on his head, and you know, the last man on the pitch who wanted to get on the ball from a Galway point of view was him. You know, a lovely finish. You know, didn't overkill the ball when he was kicking it, and you know, that's put UL in the driving seat now with the wind.
It really has. Well, University of Galway looking to defend their title, but first they have to stay in this championship. That's a fantastic run. That's Sweeney. It goes loose, but luckily for him it goes loose to a man in maroon. Here's Owen Kelly. Can he squeeze that one over? Yes, he can. Good finish by Ger Davern, who got the goal in the first half, or got one of the goals in the first half.
Brilliant score, Oisin. Yeah, they needed that, you know, just to respond to that goal. Got on the loop, found a little bit of space. A great run from Cathal Sweeney. You know, he was doing that in the first 10 minutes, and we're only seeing him now again. So they need to get him on the ball breaking lines, and lads coming off the loop and getting the ball, getting shots off. But you know, he's a big player, you know, for breaking the channels, and if they can get him on the ball, you know, they'll get success.
Looking for a second score in a row. Can they get it? At a tight angle, doesn't seem to mind that. Ryan Donoghue recycled to Ger Davern. Went back outside. Owen Kelly. Kelly, oh, that's a poor ball. McMahon was standing in the way. Sometimes when you're trying to do things at pace, you can end up rushing it. Well, that stops a bit of a rot for University of Galway, that last score. Before that, the last 6 in a row, including that goal, had gone to the visitors.
Paul Walsh again showing well for the ball. You know, I think he's won every ball that's gone into him. So they're going to have to drop someone back in front of him. There's bodies back, but they don't seem to be double teaming him. You know, he seems to be isolated. I think Sean Kelly's gone over now, maybe to stop that influence.
111 plays 2-6. That's 12 points to 14. 2 points UL lead by. They were 3 down at the break. They've got a free in, and the wind at their backs, quite literally and metaphorically. It's Emmett McMahon, and he can land scores from this kind of position.
Yeah, he's just handed it over there to Keeney to have a cut at this, so it'll be interesting to see if he can get the distance.
Sails it up, but not over. Lots of these players will be in action at the weekend. Mayo away to Armagh in Alliance League Division 1. Galway taking on Roscommon. Also players involved for Clare and Limerick, and Sean O'Flynn from Laois, who's gone off. What are the options? UL not putting everybody behind the ball, which is interesting. They've left Paul Walsh up, and 2 have dropped in behind for University of Galway to stop Paul Walsh. And University of Galway get the free in.
Yeah,
they're frustrated. They want an advantage.
Absolutely. Cathal Sweeney again, you know, just got pulled back because, you know, made a hard run. The defender had no choice but to pull him back. If he let him go, he was in for a goal chance. So look, you know, Cahill's making the difference there up front, creating scoring chances for University of Galway. They get this over. It's a 1-point game, and you know, look, this is going down to the finish.
It really is. This is what Sigerson Cup football is all about. The frantic nature of it, the late changes, playing in conditions that aren't ideal under lights as the crowd quite literally stand on the sideline. This one to make it a 1-point game. And as you would expect, he has done it. Paul Kelly with that free. Well, University of Galway have got the last 2 scores following a run where they conceded an awful lot. UL on the move through Jacqueline, who's come in wearing 22.
Yeah, it just goes to show the substitutes can make a huge difference. Jacqueline and Paul Walsh, particularly, you know, 2 outstanding footballers for their senior inter-county teams. To bring them off the bench is a huge bonus for UL, and they've been the difference in the second half.
Here's Emmett McMahon. Didn't take the last one, does fancy this one, and it is his kind of range. But unfortunately not his kind of accuracy at the moment. He is capable of landing those. That's what they call in rugby a bit of a shot to nothing. Now coming in for UL is Aaron Griffin of Clare, another man who's capable of getting vital scores. Marion Griffin is studying a master's in project management. It's project try and win the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup for UL, or at the very least get to the semi-finals. Can he succeed in that project? Ger Davern. Now UL have everyone behind the ball, although Walsh has been left up high along with his teammate there. Forward it goes from Murray, or Dunleavy, I beg your pardon. Tierney. Paul Walsh chasing back, hassling and harrying if he can get close to the ball carrier, which he does. That's a good pass, and it's just about hung on to, but he couldn't get the shot away. He was crowded out. Conor Flaherty steals away with it. The referee's blowing the whistle, but he's not indicating whom he's giving the free to. Griffin is down for UL.
Yeah, I think there was a late challenge there, and then a subsequent one after that. But UL did well there. They were lucky enough to get the free. If the ball had stayed in play, you know, University of Galway would have turned it over. But again, it was Carl Sweeney who got on the run. He was in on goal. Great turnover from UL. But you know, he's really knocking on the door. And you know, if he keeps going, you know, keeps breaking those lines, you know, the chances will come.
Well, if you're playing in a kind of crazy game like this, in which subs are coming in and it's toing and froing and it's really intense and so much is on the line, what's it like out there, Finian?
I suppose. Look, it's a frantic pace, and the fact that the pitch is so good, they're leaping off the ground and the ball is moving really fast. So you know, space is at a premium, but those gaps are open because of the conditions. The conditions are allowing for fast play. So you know, if the gap can open up and you can beat one man, the chances will arrive.
Really well taken by Griffin, the man who was just down into the path of Coyne. Coyne slips, did well to get it to Lenihan. Lenihan does well to keep his composure and get the pass away to Keeney. Keeney, definitely a contender for player of the match. He's fouled and it's a free in.
I'm not sure about that, Oisin. I thought that was a touch on the ground from a UL player and a free out, but Paul Kelly is contesting the referee there. I think he's got a point. They'll be disappointed to have given that one away, but anyway, this is a big score for UL if they can get it, you know, to put them back in a comfortable position.
Conal Dempsey from Knockmore in Mayo about to come in for UL. I think he actually played under the University of Galway manager Mark Sheridan for the Mayo under-20s. Played a corner forward for them. That is excellent from Keeney.
Yeah, he's been flawless from frees tonight, in fairness. You know, any which angle, you know, from anywhere inside the 45, he's getting them over, and he's been, you know, a huge asset for them, you know, given just to keep the scoreboard ticking.
Well, no doubt about it. Carroll's in a bit of a rush. He wants to get going. UL doing anything they can to slow it down. The first half flew by. The second half is both going fast and going slow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's hard to keep up because it's so frantic. But yeah, look, we're heading down the stretch now, and UL will feel they're in control. But look, Galway have you know, they did it to them in the first 10 minutes. They really got those chances and took them. So all they have to do is create one or two, and that, you know, a goal is there for them as they've known from the first half. So look, still a bit to go in this game yet.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. It is chilly enough here in Dangan. Can UL get revenge? It's University of Galway who've got the free. Not sure there's any English literature students on that University of Galway team. I'm sure they would have got the Shakespeare reference and delivered it a lot better. Kieran Murphy of the Irish Times and second captains. I think he was an English lit student here. Would you have played Sigerson with him, or was he before or after you?
Oh, well before my time. Played against him. Filthy. He was a Milltown man, so
yeah. Great with the ball though.
Absolutely.
Great with the ball. Yeah. Unbelievable in front of goal. Can University of Galway be unbelievable in front of goal here? It's Monaghan who's fouled and it's a free in.
Free and a run there from Sean Kelly, another player. Obviously, we know his calibre, and if they can get him forward, making those runs, these chances are going to come. I think Matthew Tierney's going in or has been in around the edge of the square for the last 2 or 3 minutes. So maybe a change in tact and a couple of high balls heading in towards him.
Well, again, they don't put up the boards here for subs or for injury time, so we don't know how long there will be. What we do know is that it's very close in the final run in, and that is Tierney. Four minutes injury time. I've just heard someone shout it on the sideline. Now again, given the nature of this competition, that could be a random fan. 2-8, 14 points, 1-12, 15 points, one between them.
Big kick out.
Massive kick out.
Oh.
And we are into
Super
the 4 minutes
fetch.
of injury time. What a catch that was. Those are game-winning, game-turning moments. They were hurt last year. They don't want to be hurt again. That's Dempsey who got on the ball. Remember, tomorrow night we've got St Mary's and UCC live from the GA Centre of Excellence in Abbottstown. We might have more here tonight. Remember, extra time if required, penalties if required. UL have already been through that drama. McLaughlin, he knows all about drama, being a Mayo man. Great run. Paul Walsh. No foul, says the referee. You could argue there was a bit of a push. Here's Coyne. It's lost. He was unlucky, Keeney. He's injured himself in the process. Big turnover for University of Galway. Get up is the shout from the sideline. Here's Kelly. A cool head, and that is required. Monaghan trying to get around his man. He doesn't do that, but he does recycle the ball. Hunt. Monaghan. Corcoran. Sweeney. University of Galway trying to work it and create some space and get the equalizer. Dunleavy. Murray, no rush. Carroll. Monaghan. They still have lots of time. Sweeney. Sweeney does he want it back? He does, but he doesn't get it. Dunleavy. Everyone inside the UL 65. Most players inside the UL 45. It just won't quite open up. Here's Dunleavy. They have to go wide. Real composure being shown here by Maurice Sheridan's team. I think that's Hunt. Almost getting there was Jack Coyne. He does enough to knock the ball out of the player's hand, but University of Galway are able to get it back. Have they got a free? No, they haven't, but they still have possession. Go, go, go is the shout. In a bit of space is Monaghan. It doesn't come to him. Is that a free? Oh, McLaughlin putting in the tackle. The referee says no, but still University of Galway drive on. This would be a winning goal if he could get it. A point would do. It comes off the woodwork. I think that was Kelly. Into the hands of Downs. We still have time. That mightn't be the last action. Anywhere will do for University of Limerick. Scarpering back is Dunleavy. I think that was Kelly.
I think it was, yeah.
The ball is like a hot rock at the moment. University of Galway once again have it. Is there another chance? They've got the free in.
Tactical foul. Yeah, what a miss, what a chance. I think he could have taken the shot a bit earlier. They've opened the gap. There's a lot of players behind the ball. Everyone from UL is inside their 45, but there's still gaps there given the conditions and the pace that University of Galway have. But that's a huge miss. They have a chance here now to still have a chance to level it.
I thought Sean Kelly maybe was going for goal there. It was a tough angle. He was really being pressurised as he struck the shot. They've got to go for it now. Carroll,
extra player.
Monaghan, he's left it go. UL get it forward, but there's no one there to battle for it. Again, Dunleavy is coming back. Paul Walsh after him. He has to give it to Carroll. It's now really up to the referee. Will he give them one more chance? Can they create one more chance? Where's this ball going? With it in hand there was Dara Heenahan. It's still the University of Galway who have it. UL bunch around them. Try to deny them time, try to deny them space. They get the pass away. It's Sean Kelly. He'll have to go for it again. He does go for it again. And he gets it. The big man stands up at the big moment. And I think we're going to extra time.
Unbelievable score. What a leader, what a player. One of the best players in the country. And that's the man you want on the ball at the very last play of the game. Just great composure, and what a difference he's made.
There's more to come. Stay tuned. The full-time whistle is blown, but the night isn't over. 2-9 is 15 points. 1-12 is also 15 points. It's extra time in the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup quarter-final. Finian Hanley, what did you make of that?
Absolutely frantic there at the end. You know, I think UL will feel, you know, God, they'll be gutted to have not have won this game. You know, they had the chance to come down. Probably should have maybe a bit more experience down here. Paul Walsh would have maybe fouled the keeper or held the ball up, but you know, just watched the ball get back up into their own half, gave the chance. And obviously with the quality that's in the University of Galway team, particularly the likes of Sean Kelly and Matthew Tierney, if they can get a shot away, you know, they're going to take the score, particularly from near the D. So I think that was one gain from University of Galway. UL will be disappointed, and I think the momentum now will be with University of Galway going into extra time.
Okay, we're going to take a breath. We will be back with extra time, so stay with us. Remember, you can join the conversation on social media via hashtag FirstClassRivals. We'd love to hear from you. Finian Hanley and Oisin Langan talking you through this game in Dangan. It is the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup quarter-final, giving you the drama that only this competition can give you on a cold Wednesday night on a college campus. We'll be back for extra time and potentially penalties. Remember, it has to end tonight. We're about to start the first half of extra time. Earlier on, by the way, DCU Dochasharon did the job against MTU Cork, 212 to 9 points. Finian Hanley, formerly of Galway, and of course formerly of University College Galway as it was known then, University of Galway as it is now. I was beginning to think we were jinxed because the last couple of games we didn't think they'd be one-sided. That's why we picked them. They were. This has been anything but.
Yeah, no, it's a real follow-on from last year's final. There's a little bit of a rivalry being created between these two sides now, and there's a real, UL really want to win this game to make up for that final last year. But it's nicely poised heading into extra time, and at the minute it's anyone's.
Well, such is the nature of modern technology. I was just looking around, and people are on the sideline checking out the clip of Sean Kelly's equalizer. He is the reason why we're still here. It is Dangan. It's a chilly night in Galway. It's the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup quarter-final. It is the defending champions University of Galway against last year's beaten finalists UL. Reached the final for the first time since I think 1997 last year, and they want to get back there. They're desperate to get back there. They've made another change. David Mangan has come in for UL. He's wearing number 17. They've been good with the bench tonight. Declan Bruder and his team. They're against the elements in the first half of extra time, UL. It was actually the same in the normal time. UL played against the breeze in the first half and did just about enough to stay in the game and then played their way back in. It's kind of a calm start to extra time. I imagine there's a lot of tired bodies out there. It's hard to just flick it back on. Ger Davern was doing some stretches as play continued on the far side. He's kind of labouring. Sean Kelly, who scored the equaliser. He missed a chance just before. He's got goal on his mind. He's dispossessed brilliantly. Very easy to say, should he have just let the shot go earlier? But it was a great tackle.
Yeah, the ref let the advantage play. Donald Hunt made a great line break there. Went by three bodies. Referee had the arm in the air. Obviously, Sean Kelly came off the shoulder, but super tackle.
Dara
to take the
Cashman.
ball. Absolutely brilliant tackle and needed, because we know when Sean Kelly gets into that position, there's usually only one winner.
Well, Cork had reasons to be gloomy during the weekend. They've reasons to be cheerful tonight. Looking at the performance of Dara Cashman, the way he's attacked, the way he's defended. Jack Coyne, David Mangan sails it out to Dara Cashman. Remember, you can join the conversation via social media. Just hashtag FirstClassRivals. 32, by the way, for UL is Conal Dempsey from County Mayo. Here's David Mangan. He's seen an awful lot of the ball since he came in, and I think it's not an accident that UL aren't particularly pushed about getting forward and running the ball against this breeze, because they're thinking to themselves, maybe we'll do our way out for now. Oisin Looney from Clare is in. They run out of space. Have they got the 45? They're protesting, they want it. Aaron Griffin making his displeasure known to the referee. He's claiming he was fouled, but it will be a 45.
Yeah, it's a cagey start to extra time, Oisin. As we predicted, all the bodies in one side of the pitch again, which has kind of been the way. But I think, once they get set up around the 45, there's strike runners, that there are gaps to appear. So with tired bodies, the systems aren't able to stay in place as well as they were in the first half. So we could see more line breaks and more opportunities.
They work it short to Emmett McMahon. The shot wasn't caught right, but it still might work out for UL. Griffin tries to scoop it up, tries to bend his back. I was about to say UL are looking a little bit fresher, but then they give the ball away. That's a really tired mistake. That's anything but a tired run. What a drive that is. I think that's Matthew Tierney. Big shoulder on Dara Cashman. Referee says it's a foul and a free in.
Yeah, it was a coming together, but I do think he got the right call there, because the ball was with Galway and the favour was with them going forward. So Dara Cashman did, he launched his body at that there, but I think that was the right call in the end. Great leadership shown from Matthew Tierney there, and now he's the free to put Galway 1 up.
Well, you're getting a chance to look at that collision. It actually happened just off camera. Clever play from Ger Darren. The end result is that free, which will be struck by Tierney. Tierney and Kelly, the two midfielders, stepping up to freeze tonight. The wind in University of Galway's favour. It is Tierney, and it is the lead for University of Galway.
Brilliant score from Matthew Tierney. Got the ball in his own half. Massive run. You know, got the 1-2, took the ball himself. Great leadership. Strikes over the bar from the 45. That's what Galway will need. Their captain, their leaders to step up now.
2-10 to 1-12. Well, Paddy Christie and his DCU team can relax for the evening. They can watch on. We don't know who's playing who, by the way, in the semi-finals. It is not confirmed yet. The draw will be made on Thursday. There's a free in for UL. Emmett McMahon playing under Colm Collins and Clare. He's one of the managers of the last number of years, Colm Collins. He tries to put it into the path of Downs, another Clare man, but it was intercepted. University of Galway soaking up the pressure and breaking. O'Donnell wants it, didn't get it. Monaghan continues to go forward and wins the free, I beg your pardon, gives away the free out.
Yeah, just running into the tackle there. They need to maybe bring some more width back into their play. University of Galway going down the throat of a lot of bodies in the middle and a lot of big men in the UL team isn't going to work. So I think they need to bring a bit more width and try and get strike runners from the lines.
Jack Coyne, always so comfortable on the ball for UL and for Mayo. Go, go is the shout anytime UL get the ball, particularly when this man gets it. That's Dara Cashman. Mangan. Mangan caught in possession. It's a soft enough free. Moriarty. McLaughlin. Moriarty has kind of pulled up a little bit. He's limping. McLaughlin. McLaughlin has the free in.
Yeah, great run by McLaughlin again. He's making a huge difference to this game. He's taking the game with his scruff of the neck. He's a great man to carry the ball, and when he gets round one and he gets his gallop up, he's very, very hard to stop.
Now Colin Moriarty off camera is receiving some treatment. He'd be a huge loss, doing a BA in arts. He's in third year. Has featured for the Kerry under-20s as UL look to draw level. Which they have done through Emmett McMahon. What did I tell you about him being a big player? Comes up with the scores when they're needed.
Yeah, there was no applause there really from the opposite side of the ground, because everyone I think thought that was wide, that he miskicked it, but obviously it crept in.
16 points apiece. UL making a change. Sean McDonald is getting some instructions anyway. He didn't start, he was named to start. The Cork man, Mark Lenihan. No, he has been involved, so he's coming back in, I think. So much is happening on the sideline and on the pitch. It can be hard to keep track of. Mark Lenihan is on the field. I can't remember whether or not he's back on or never went off, but either way he is there. Anyway, I'll stop obsessing about him. Davern, Sweeney, who's never left. Owen Kelly. Sweeney. Murray. Had the run of Ryan Monaghan to aim at. That's who he gives it to. Sweeney sidesteps his man Downs beautifully. Hunt. Sweeney. Didn't kind of quite burst off the mark to get the ball back there. You can't blame him, given what they've both been through tonight, given how many miles they've put in. Heenan. Can they create a score? Sean Kelly. Sean Kelly. Murray. Hunt. Monaghan. Sweeney. Good take. Again, they're forced to go backwards. This is great work from UL. They're just blocking up all those spaces.
Absolutely, yeah. They have every man inside their 45 now at this rate, which has been the way for both teams for a lot of this game. It's a sign of college football now is caught up, and it's extremely defensive. So they're just trying to hold on to what they have as long as they're playing against the breeze.
Murray. He's come up and supported whenever he's been able tonight, whenever the opportunity has arisen. Colin Murray from Montpellier, twice a county finalist. Hunt. If you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the raffle. But unfortunately, he comes away with nothing.
Yeah.
Probably worth the effort from Heenan. And that's half time and extra time. And it's still impossible to separate these two.
Yeah, it's gone very cagey. I think, both teams are just trying to kind of feel each other out, and we're hoping in the second half of extra time that someone will go at it. There's a bit of fisticuffs down there now. Paul Kelly is involved, Matthew Tierney, so that's going to add a bit of spice to the last 10 minutes here. But it's nicely poised. I think maybe a slight advantage with UL going with the breeze.
Well, it's one of those situations where you can't be seen to step back, but you don't want to do anything silly. Now the players are doing the right thing, the clever thing, the smart thing, and just backing off from each other. It's difficult enough to win this kind of game with 15, let alone 14 or maybe even 13.
Yeah, you don't want to lose a man at this stage, obviously frees are going to be important now, so Paul Keeney, Daniel Walsh, these guys, Emmett McMahon, they're going to have to shape up. But I do think Paul Walsh was extremely dangerous playing into this goal in the second half, and he'll fancy his chances. I would think that University of Galway will go very defensive, get every man behind the ball and try break a pace with Cathal Sweeney and Sean Kelly, because they've made the real difference. But it's a long way from your own 45 up against that breeze up to the trees on the right hand side.
It has to end tonight, penalties if required. What do you make of penalty shootouts in Gaelic football?
Yeah, I think controversial and all as it is, I think they're great. I'm not a fan of replays. I don't think I've been to too many interesting replays, but I think finishing on the night, penalties, and people say we're not penalty
particularly
takers
in
by
college.
Nature. Yeah,
because a lot of these guys have county football, and in fairness, their managers let them off to play this, which they should. But at the same time, you don't want to curb their chances for their county either.
No.
A lot of them are only making their way in county football.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think on the night, finish it off. And college football should still be about the fun element as well, that people go out and enjoy it. And I think everyone here tonight would love to see that bit of drama, because that's what it's all about, that you don't probably see at inter-county level now, because it's so coached. And even tonight there's a lot of tactics, big management teams and everything like that, so it's in the game. But it has been a very good game tonight, cagey and all as it is. The fast pace has helped that, but to finish on penalties in the night is interesting for the spectators.
Well, we mentioned DCU won earlier on in the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup quarter final, that one going on at the DCU Sports Grounds. 12-9 points the final score in that game. You can catch up with the reports and everything online. Just follow the hashtag FirstClassRivals. Good win also for the DCU Freshers A team. They beat UCD 121-27, so they march on to the knockout stages. Tomorrow night, two more Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup quarter-finals. Among them, we've got St Mary's against UCC. That's on in the GAA Centre of Excellence in Abbottstown. It throws in at 7 and it's live on the Electric Ireland YouTube channel and website. We'll also bring you updates from the other game going on.
The home and away didn't work for that one.
Well, there's a 300-kilometre rule, I think, whereby if you're more than 300 kilometres from each other, you have to go to a neutral venue, which I imagine is fair enough.
There's a flight in there somewhere. I'd say that'd be a long, no more than Donegal and Kerry last week. There's a long journey home for whoever loses.
Yep. So, will we have a winner in play, or will it be decided on penalties? We're about to find out. Finian, you're casting your eye around the place to see if there's any changes.
Yeah.
Players have been slipped on and off in this game, and again, I'll repeat, because they don't put up a board or there's no PA system. Generally speaking, in Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup matches, it can be hard to keep track of.
Yeah, at this stage of a game, in a quarter-final where it's do or die, you may see a player come back on at this stage. So I'm just keeping an eye to see has anyone crept back on to make that final difference for their team.
There will be a winner tonight. Will it be in the next 10 or so minutes, or will we be going to penalties? University of Galway on the attack, laying it off. That's Kelly. Kelly has an option outside if he wants to go. It's an interesting choice. Well done to Conor Flaherty. Safe as houses. Almost played his way into trouble there, but plays outfield and hurling. Might play outfield for his club in football as well, but kept his
full forward
composure.
for his club. Great hands, great
right.
target man for Clare Galway. So no bother to him getting up the pitch. We haven't seen him up the pitch tonight, but did really well there.
Is there anything he can't do, that lad?
He's dangerous, and if there's 2 minutes to go here, would they chance him up at 14? I've seen stranger things happen.
Now, Garrod Hassett is on the field for UL. Another one of the subs that we talked about that might come on. Wouldn't necessarily be announced. It is a free for UL, and a big one as well. Garrod Hassett, who plays for Lawn Rangers in Kerry, Munster under-20 winner last year, beat Tara Cashman's Cork on the way, and Sean McNamara's Clare. McMahon, speaking of Clare, that is a wonderful score from Emmett McMahon.
Brilliant score, absolutely fantastic score under pressure. Left side 45 out. That bit of a breeze helping him, just curled in, but he's been flawless all night. That's an absolutely wonderful score at this stage of the game.
There are certain players and they live for those kind of clutch moments. He's one of them.
Yeah, and I suppose looking down at the University of Galway manager there, Maurice Sheridan, he used to live for those moments as well, taking frees and finishing them off. But that was an absolutely brilliant score at this stage in the game.
And he's got the last two in this game. But University of Galway want to respond. Really good work, really great tackling from Sean McDonald. And a free out to boot. Well, you feel sorry for whoever loses this game. From a neutral point of view, it's been thoroughly entertaining. They've both given it absolutely everything. At the moment, it's UL who are in a good position, but there is a long time to go. Cashman. Glynn. More than familiar with this territory. Jack Glynn, the Galway man, recycled it well. Cashman getting the call there from Cian Glennon. Didn't give it back to him though. Cashman. It's a real battle zone out there. McMahon has won the free in.
Yeah, given the way he's played tonight, the ref, I think that was quite soft. I thought he might have given a turnover for steps, which he has been playing that way all night. So a lucky one for UL.
James McLaughlin is now on for the University of Galway, wearing number 30.
Yeah, fantastic young footballer from Mike Cullen as well. He's been injured all year, so you know he's catching up big time, and has been a huge loss for his club and for University of Galway as well. So let's see, can he make an impact?
They're producing some players in Mike Cullen at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, look, they've really got their act together. You know, they've 7 or 8 on the senior team, and they're carrying players at under 20 and minor level as well. So, you know, they've won the last 2 championships, and they've a load of more bodies coming. So, you know, great credit has to go to the club. They're doing a massive job.
Speaking of great clubs, St Bridget's in Roscommon is one of those. Paul McGrath of St Bridget's in Roscommon has just come on for University of Galway. Just to reconfirm, Cian Glennon is on for UL. Emmett McMahon, who's put over the last 2 under pressure. This one from a greater distance out. He can make light of great distance. Well, he had the distance, unfortunately, just didn't have the accuracy on that occasion. Just to confirm as well that it's Owen Kelly who's gone off there for the man we just mentioned, Paul McGrath. Sweeney. Monaghan looked to me like he was being fouled. It's given away, and UL intercepted, try and go up the park. Griffin was where he needed to be. Jack Coyne, who's a decent hurler as well as footballer. Jack Coyne from Ballyhonus in County Mayo. Emmett McMahon.
Space now.
Lots of space. As you say, Finian, the game just opens up when everyone's tired. McMahon says, I'll have a go. And it's wide.
Yeah, wrong option, I would say there. There was 3 or 4 bodies over, and Galway had committed. So, unusual option there for McMahon to take an outside of the left when there was 2 or 3 bodies that he could have slipped and made it an easier chance for themselves.
Breaks is the shout. Who's going to win it? It is UL. Walsh. Glynn. Glennon. Back to Flaherty. Glennon. Glynn. UL working it so well. Glynn. Dara Cashman lays it off. He'll have a go. Owen McLaughlin didn't quite catch it right. And it's back to Carroll.
Just UL are keeping Galway in it. They've had 3 chances there now, and not brilliant options from any of the players involved. So if Galway can get a score, I think they'll be in the ascendancy, and I think they'll have great confidence from the last 3 options that UL have taken.
Well, they haven't got a score, but they have got a free. They do have plenty of time. Let's not forget that. And it's still only a 1-point game. Drive hard is the shout at Cathal Donoghue. The Offaly man. Sweeney has played under 20 hurling for Offaly as well as under 20 football. Won in All Ireland. This is a good position. Laid off well, but laid off well. I was going to say well, I did say laid off well. It was laid off loosely. And then just smacked away. That was a UL boot, putting it out for a 45.
Yeah, dangerous. You know, it was a bit of pinball in there at the end, but I thought a Galway body might get on the end of something, but probably a right clearance from the UL team. But look, it's getting nervy now at this stage, and a lot of mistakes happening.
Cathal Donoghue capable of running at defences, creating openings there. Sweeney involved in that attack as well. They're trying to work it. Can they work it to a shooter? Who do you want on the ball from the University of Galway point of view right now? Tierney was on it.
Yeah.
Gave it off to Monaghan.
Yeah, it's your Sean Kellys, your Matthew Tierney's, your Cathal Sweeney's, your big players, you know, experienced inter-county. They're the guys you want on the ball.
Well, they're showing patience. And it's picked off the ground well. Maurice Sheridan is apoplectic on the sideline, along with many of his selectors.
Yeah, it's dubious, but you know the ref has been kind of up and down tonight. He's been making some funny decisions, so anything at all that's 50-50. I think he's going to give against just to get momentum into the game. So unusual one to give at that stage because Galway were keeping the ball really well.
UL making a change, coming in for UL is Elliot Connolly. has that Cian O'Sullivan of Meath kind of ponytail. Well, it will be interesting to see that particular free back again. So Elliot Connolly is in, replacing Emmett McMahon. Well, he must be either tired to the point of being injured or just plain and simply injured, because you wouldn't bring him off unless you had to. And University of Galway have got a free. They'll say that's a bit of instant karma because the last one really shouldn't have been a free. That's what they'll say. I'd like to see it back.
Yeah, same again. Yeah, 50-50 and the ref gave a free out, so he's keeping the game going.
It's a free in.
Could be a black card here. Could be a black card. The jersey pull, but the fact that he went to ground, is that a black? Yellow.
Does he have to go for it, or will he try and work it?
I think it looks like he's shaping up to have a cut at this.
This to equalise and potentially bring us to penalties. These two only do dramatic encounters. Is it going over? Are we going to penalties? No, not right now anyway. The yellow card, by the way, was for Owen McLaughlin, just to confirm. Paul Kelly, unfortunate to miss that free. They might get another chance. They run out of pitch.
Galway ball, I'd say. Yeah.
It is a Galway ball, you're right. This is it for University of Galway, but they've given it away. It was Griffin who took it. Now running down the park is Lenihan. Griffin has Connolly to aim at, the O'Donovan Rosser from Corkman. Instead, he goes to Downs. Downs! That could be the insurance point for UL. Now University of Galway need a goal.
Yeah, it's just the way the game has gone tonight. A Galway ball and a lapse of concentration after a long night, kicking the ball straight to UL, man, at a time. Probably should have just let one in. But look, difficult for Ger Davern, I think it was, but down the pitch, and that's 2-point game. That should be it now.
They need to get their hands on the ball, and even when they do, they have an awful lot of work to do. But they have the players, they have the scorers. It is a free in. They want to take it quickly. UL get everyone behind the ball. They're flooding back in numbers. It's a big lofted ball inside. Why not? It's defended brilliantly by UL. It was a risky pass out of defence, but it's Mark Lenihan who has it again, and again running ahead of him is Downs. Lenihan running in support of Downs. Downs doesn't have to score. They just have to keep the ball. It's easier said than done. That's a good pass. Connolly, and that's it. Connolly thought he'd have the chance to shoot. He doesn't care because his team win anyway. UL gain a measure of revenge for last year's Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup final defeat against University of Galway. The home team gave it everything, but it wasn't quite enough against a UL team who kept their nerve.
Yeah, it was a brilliant game, but I think UL were just the deserved winners at the end. They kept their composure when it mattered. Owen McLaughlin, Paul Walsh, Jacqueline, absolutely superb when they come on with brilliant composure and obviously huge experience. Those three players made the difference, but I think UL just wanted it that bit more in the end and made the least mistakes when it came down the stretch.
They won it last year. This year they haven't made the last four, and that, my friends, is the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup. It's a beautiful competition, but boy can it hurt, and you know that more than most, Finian, having played in it. But it's UL's night and they deserve it.
Yeah, I think, look, from a Galway point of view, when they really needed scores, the likes of Tom O'Culhan, who was missing tonight, they only got a half out of Sean Kelly, obviously. Two big players not to have, and to only have, like, Sean Kelly made a massive difference when he came on, but they really needed him from the start tonight, and I'm surprised he wasn't starting. And maybe the body was tired after the weekend, but huge loss. But look, I think UL were just value for their win, and they'll go far in the competition again.
Okay, it's UL UL, who march on to the semi-finals, the draw for which will be made on Thursday. They join DCU Docus Éireann, who beat MTU Cork earlier on, 12 to 9 points, the final score from memory. Another 2 matches tomorrow night. The clash between St Mary's and UCC will be live on the Electric Ireland YouTube channel and website. If you want to find out more, then just follow the hashtag FirstClassRivals. From Finian Hanley and myself, Oisin Langan, from here in Dangan, where we've had absolutely everything, including a dramatic finish. The final score, UL 115, University of Galway 210. The champions go out, last year's beaten finalists go on. Take care. As we said earlier on, the pitch is in very decent condition. University of Galway looking for a goal here and getting it. What a finish that is. Paul Kelly flicks it off. It's Matthew Tierney raiding again. Tierney somehow got through the gap and finishes it off beautifully. 2 in a row. Things about Sigerson Cup football. The crowd gets so close to the action. That's well taken. And it's gone in. It's not the cleanest of strikes. University of Galway. He finds him. McDonald back inside for Cashman, who's at a tight enough angle. Cashman! Oh, he wanted a goal. He's to settle for a point.
That's
Lenihan. It'll be some score if he lands it.
Yeah,
which he has. McLaughlin pressure the ball as the shout from the sideline. The shot away from Cashman, looking for a second. Fantastic score from Cashman. Hayes has half the University of Galway defence around him, but that meant that Walsh was free and he squeezes that one over.
I'm not sure did he mean that, Oisin.
Nice ball inside to Downs. Downs looking for 4 in a row for UL. They've got it. They're really on top here. Cup football, so there's no one reading out the changes. Here's Paul Walsh, who lobs the keeper. It's a goal. It's a fantastic goal. Loose, but luckily for him it goes loose to a man in maroon. Here's Owen Kelly. Can he squeeze that one over? Yes, he can. Good finish by Kelly. He'll have to go for it again. He does go for it again.
Oh,
and he gets it.
What a
the big man stands up at the big to aim at the O'Donovan Rosser from Corkman. Instead, he goes to Downs. Downs! That could be the insurance point for UL.